I don't know who you are, friend, but you made a serious mistake coming here. Lieutenant, I want everyone in the clearing, now! Captain!
Your men are dead, and your trap has failed. I suggest running back to your master while you can.
You're going nowhere, slave!
I am not a slave. I apologize. When I asked Anso to provide a distraction for the hunters, I had no idea they'd be so numerous.
Don't worry. We do this sort of thing often.
Impressive. My name is Fenris. These men were Imperial bounty hunters, seeking to recover a Magister's lost property, namely myself. They were trying to lure me into the open. Crude as their methods were, I could not face them alone. Thankfully, Anso chose wisely.
Everything Anso said was a lie, then?
Not everything. Your employer was simply not who you believed.
If you couldn't fight them, why not just run?
There comes a time when you must stop running, when you turn and face the tiger.
That seems like a lot of effort to find one slave.
It is.
Does this have something to do with those markings?
Yes. I imagine I must look strange to you. I did not receive these markings by choice. Even so, they have served me well. Without them, I would still be a slave.
If they were really trying to recapture you, then I'm happy I helped.
I have met few in my travels who have sought anything more than personal gain. If I may ask, what was in the chest? The one they kept in the house?
It was empty.
I suppose it was too much to hope for. Even so, I had to know.
You were expecting something else?
I was, but I shouldn't have. It was bait, nothing more.
All that for an empty chest?
No, there's more. It's as I thought. My former master accompanied them to the city. I know you have questions, but I must confront him before he flees. I will need your help.
It sounds like you intend to do more than just talk.
Denarius wants to strip the flesh from my bones, and has sent so many hunters that I've lost count. And before that, he kept me on a leash like a Qunari mage, a personal pet to mock Qunari custom. So, yes, I intend to do more than just talk.
If it means fighting more slavers, I'll help you.
I will find a way to repay you. I swear it. The Magister is staying at a mansion in Hightown. Meet me there as soon as you can. We must enter before morning. No one has left the mansion, but I've heard nothing within. Denarius may know we're here. I wouldn't put it past him.
I could stand to know a little more about this Denarius.
He is a Magister of the Tevinter Imperium.
Oh, is that all? Nothing to worry about, then.
There, he is a wealthy mage with great influence. Here, he is but a man who sweats like any other when death comes for him.
What's the worst that could happen?
I do not fear death. That does not mean we should be reckless.
Never to get on our bad side.
Gone. I'd hoped... No, it doesn't matter any longer. I assume Denarius left valuables behind. Take them if you wish. I need some air. It never ends. I escaped a land of dark magic, only to have it hunt me at every turn. It is a plague burned into my flesh and my soul. And now I find myself in the company of even more mages.
You can speak to me directly.
I saw you casting spells inside. I should have realized sooner what you really were. You harbor a viper in your midst. It will turn on you and strike when you least expect. That is in its nature.
My sister is stronger than you think. You tell him, sis.
I'm not blind. I know magic has its uses, and there are undoubtedly mages with good intentions. But even the best-intentioned mage can fall prey to temptation. And then, their power is a curse to inflict upon others.
No one's stopping you from moving on, you know.
I imagine I appear ungrateful. If so, I apologize, for nothing could be further from the truth. I did not find Denarius, but I still owe you a debt. Here is all the coin I have, as Anso promised. Should you find yourself in need of assistance, I would gladly render it.
Your old master must want something more than just a runaway slave.
He doesn't want me at all, just the markings on my skin. They are lyrium, burned into my flesh to provide the power that Denarius required of his pet. And now, he wishes his precious investment returned, even if he must rip it from my corpse.
Seems like a waste of a perfectly handsome elf.
The truth is, I know nothing of the ritual that placed these markings on me. It was Denarius's choice, one he now regrets.
I've seen some of your abilities. Do they come from those markings?
Some. All I know is that even in the Imperium, warriors such as myself are rare. Perhaps they believe I should feel honored.
Do you think your master will keep chasing you?
He is too proud not to. Perhaps one day the hunt will cost him more than he is willing to pay, but I doubt that matters any longer.
Are you going to have a problem with my companions?
I will watch them carefully if we travel together. I can promise no more.
I'm planning an expedition I might need help with.
Fair enough. Should you ever have need of me, I will be here. If Denarius wishes his mansion back, he is free to return and claim it. Beyond that, I am at your disposal. Agrigio Pavali. There are 6 bottles in the cellar. Denarius used to have me pour it for his guests. My appearance intimidated them, he said, which he enjoyed.
I can't imagine why they would be put off.
You say what's on your mind, I'll give you that. It's good I can still take pleasure in the small things.
You could have offered me a glass first, you know?
There's more, if you're really interested.
Perish the thought. How else would you redecorate the walls?
I've wanted to leave my past behind me, but it won't stay there. Tell me, have you never wanted to return to Ferelden?
I grew up in Ferelden. It will always be my home.
The Blight is over. You could rebuild what you lost. Do you truly not want to?
My mother came from Kirkwall. Our heritage is here.
Having a place where you can put down roots. I understand. Still, to have the option must be gratifying.
Do you intend to keep living here?
I haven't decided. For now, it's as good as any other place. I would return to Saharan if I could, but there is no life for me there.
Is that where you're from?
So I've been told.
Were you very young when you left then?
Perhaps.
You could track your former master down, I assume.
I imagine he has returned to Minrathous, though I dare not go near the city while he is alive. No, it is better to wait for him to leave his fortress, fight from a fortified position. I do not expect your help when that day comes, but I would not turn it aside.
You've been on the run a long time, then.
3 years now. Denarius has a way of finding me. Perhaps it is the markings. Whatever the means, it never takes him long to follow. This is the first time I've given him reason to pause. I suppose there are advantages in numbers.
Haven't you sought help before?
Hirelings, when I could steal the coin. Never anyone of substance. Until you. Denarius will not give up, however. I await his return.
What if he does give up? What then?
Then I go to him. I will not live with a wolf at my back.
Sounds like the right idea to me.
If it comes to that, I doubt it will.
Maybe it's just me, but it sounds like you want to stick around.
I could see myself staying, for the right reasons. I should thank you again for helping me against the hunters.
Yes, you should.
Had I known Anso would find me a woman so capable, I might have asked him to look sooner.
You sound like you're about to ask for a loan.
Well, this mansion does require some upkeep. Perhaps I'll practice my flattery for your next visit. With any luck, I'll become better at it. I've heard about the Circle of Magi outside of the Imperium, but I've never been in one. This seems more like a prison. I wonder if it's more effective than the Circle I know.
How is the Imperial Circle of Magi different?
Once upon a time, it was as it is here. The Chantry watched the Magisters closely for any signs of corruption or weakness. Then it changed. The Magisters were permitted to watch over their own, and Templars kept only to enforce the law. What happened next was inevitable. The Magisters rule again, as powerful as they ever were.
You said the Chantry used to watch the Magisters. Why did they stop?
You must remember that the attitude towards magic is different in Tevinter. Magisters came from wealthy families, bloodlines that had nurtured magical talent for countless generations. The Chantry was not trying to control poor peasants, but the scions of the greatest houses in the Imperium.
I thought the Magisters had been thrown down by the Chantry.
On the contrary, Andraste never defeated the Imperium. A great army conquered the south, but not the north. The Magisters eventually surrendered to the Chantry, but they did so on their terms. They kept their influence. Thus, they reclaimed what they lost over the centuries. Some battles are lost by inches.
You talk about the Magisters as if they are all evil.
I have no doubt that some are good and noble men, strong enough to resist temptation. But how many temptations do you wish to offer a man before he will give in? Blood magic is everywhere in Tevinter, from the lowliest apprentice up to the Archon himself.
You can't have seen this for yourself.
Daenerys talked about it often. Of course, they say it's forbidden. Behind the smiles and closed doors, however, it's a different matter. To be a Magister in Tevinter is to be glorious. To be a powerful Magister in Tevinter, that is worth any price.
You're saying the same thing could happen here?
If the mages were permitted to be their own watchers, of course. It is too easy for a mage to resort to blood magic if they feel the need is great enough. A mage can desire power, justice, revenge, protection. Any cause will do, and then they are lost.
You're saying that locking mages up is better?
All I am saying is the Imperium offers no answer. All that Andraste did long ago to end the tyranny of magic has been undone. Power corrupts, as they say, and mages have power enough already.
What the Circle does here is better than the alternative.
An alternative I am very familiar with. Freedom is a noble ideal, but I see no oppression here. I see fear and danger. But enough. I'm sure we came here for a reason.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport. Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
"3 years. There's still no sign of Daenerys. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Denarius killed him. Either way, if Denarius is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Don't tell me you're going to miss all the attention.
Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
You take a breath and look around. And start anew.
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings, the lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You don't know who you were?
Fenris was the name Denarius bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
I might be able to help with your problems. Or give you a few more.
Only a few.
It depends if I really work at it.
Tempting. You're a beautiful woman, Hawke. Is there no one else who has your attention?
I didn't quite catch that first part.
I don't need to repeat the obvious, I'm certain. I'm an escaped slave and an elf living in a borrowed mansion. None of those things bother you.
And I'm a refugee as well as a human. Does that bother you?
You have me there. You raise an interesting point. I'll have to consider it. Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Femundis. Care to hear the story?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
I enjoy listening to you talk.
There are few pleasures greater than speaking with a beautiful woman. Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Denarius during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
I thought Denarius considered you valuable.
He wasn't given a choice. The look on his face as the ship pulled out was priceless. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Denarius finally came for me.
Were you with these Fog Warriors willingly?
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Denarius came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them. So I did. I killed them all.
Why would you do such a thing?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Couldn't you have found other Fog Warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Denarius then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
Didn't Denarius stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Denarius was able to mount the hunt in earnest. but by then, I was already gone.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
How well did you know these fog warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
This can't be easy to talk about.
I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
It might mean more than that.
I have never allowed anyone too close. When my markings were created, the pain was extraordinary, and the memory lingers. But you were unlike any woman I have ever met. With you, it might be different.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
If there was someone before, I have no memory of it.
There was no one after you escaped, even?
I stayed nowhere for long. Who would I trust? I didn't think I needed anyone, or wanted anyone, until now.
We could find out.
On another evening, perhaps. A last toast, then. To the fallen.
I have something for you.
It's a book.
It's a subject you're familiar with. The book is by Shartan, the elf who helped Andraste free the slaves. You know about him, right?
A little. It's just... slaves are not permitted to read. I've never learned.
It's not too late to learn, Fenris.
Isn't it? Sometimes I wonder. I don't mean to seem ungrateful. I do appreciate the thought. I've always wanted to learn more of Shartan. Perhaps this is my chance. Hunters.
Stop right there! You are in possession of stolen property. Back away from the slave now and you'll be spared.
Fenris is a free man.
I won't repeat myself. Back away from the slave now! I am not your slave! Shut up. This one! Better answer right!
Touch them! And stay down! Go down!
Try to leave the
I
pretty
love it
ones
when a plan
alive!
works out.
Where is he?
Please, don't kill me.
Tell me!
I don't know. I don't know, I swear. Adriana brought us. She's at the holding caves north of the city. I can show you the way.
No need. I know which ones you speak of.
Then let me go. I beg you. I swear
You chose
I won't...
the wrong master. Adriana. I was a fool to think I was free. They'll never let me be.
This is someone you know.
My old master's apprentice. I remember her well. A sniveling social climber that would sell her own children if she thought it would please Denarius. If she's here, it's at his bidding. I knew he wouldn't let this go.
Then why are we standing around?
The holding caves held slaves in the old times, but apparently they are no longer abandoned. We must go quickly, before Hadriana has a chance to prepare, or flee. We must be careful. There were many such holdings once, especially in the mountains where individual slavers kept private pens. They were designed to protect against raids by fellow slavers. No doubt it's why Hadriana chose this place.
Do slavers attack each other often?
They did. What better way to find slaves than to steal them? The holdings outside of Tevinter have mostly been abandoned, but they still exist.
Hadriana won't escape us.
Let's hope this isn't a waste of time.
That was beautiful!
Are you hurt? Did they touch you?
They've been killing everyone. They cut Papa, bled him.
Why? Why would they do this?
It's a demon at work. By this point, there's nothing human left inside.
The Magister. She said she needed power, that someone was coming to kill her. We tried to be good. We did everything we were told. She loved Papa's soup. I don't understand.
Is the Magister still here?
I think so. The Magister said they were to prepare for battle. I think she's very frightened.
She has every reason to be.
Please don't hurt her. She'll be so angry if you hurt her.
This has been terrible for you.
Everything was fine until today.
It wasn't. You just didn't know any better.
Are you my master now?
No.
But I can cook. I can clean. What else will I do?
If you go to Kirkwall, I can help you.
Yes? Oh, praise the Maker. Thank you.
I didn't realize you were in the market for a slave.
I gave her a job, Fenris.
Ah, then that's good. My apologies. Let's find Hadriana and be done with this place.
Stop! You do not want me dead!
There is only one person I want dead more.
I have information, Elf, and I will trade it in return for my life.
Ha! The location of Denarius. What good will that do me? I'd rather he lose his pet pupil.
You have a sister. She is alive. You wish to reclaim your life? Let me go, and I will tell you where she is.
How do we know you're even telling the truth?
You don't. But I know Fenris, and I know what he's searching for. If he wants me to betray Denarius, he'll have to pay for it.
This is your call.
So I have your word. I tell you, and you let me go.
Yes, you have my word.
Her name is Verania. She is in Carinus, serving a magister by the name of Ahriman.
A servant, not a slave.
She's not a slave.
I believe you. We are done here.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I don't want to talk about it. This could be a trap. Denarius could have sent Hadriana here to tell me about this sister. Even if he didn't, trying to find her would still be suicide. Denarius has to know about her and has to know that Hadriana knows. But all that matters is I finally got to crush this bitch's heart. May she rot, and all the other mages with her.
And here I thought you were unreasonable.
Maybe we should leave.
Don't comfort me. You saw what was done here. There's always going to be some reason, some excuse why mages need to do this. Even if I found my sister, who knows what the Magisters have done to her? What has magic touched that it doesn't spoil? I need to go. I've been thinking about what happened with Hadriana. I took out my anger on you, undeservedly so. I was not myself. I'm sorry.
I had no idea where you went. I was concerned.
I needed to be alone. When I was still a slave, Hadriana was a torment. She would ridicule me, deny my meals, hound my sleep. Because of her status, I was powerless to respond, and she knew it. The thought of her slipping out of my grasp now. I couldn't let her go. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
What do you mean?
This hate. I thought I'd gotten away from it. But it dogs me no matter where I go. To feel it again. To know it was they who planted it inside me. It was too much to bear. But I didn't come here to burden you further.
You don't need to leave, Fenris. Was it that bad?
I'm sorry, it's not... It was fine. No, that is insufficient. It was better than anything I could have dreamed.
Your markings. They hurt, don't they?
It's not that. I began to remember my life before. Just flashes. It's too much. This is too fast. I cannot do this.
Your life before? What do you mean?
I've never remembered anything from before the ritual, but there were faces, words. For just a moment, I could recall all of it. And then it slipped away.
Don't you want to get your memories back?
Perhaps you don't realize how upsetting this is. I've never remembered anything, and to have it all come back in a rush, only to lose it. I can't. I can't.
We can work through this.
I'm sorry. I feel like such a fool. All I wanted was to be happy. Just for a little while. Forgive me.
I can't imagine what Hawke sees in you.
It is done. Leave it be.
Well, good. I always knew she had some sense.
Do not make light of this. Leaving was the hardest thing I've ever done.
My people, I present to you our hope. His features may mark him as human, but in his heart beats the blood of the Dales. He came to us to learn his heritage, to release the power from a lineage as ancient as our race.
I don't know what to say.
That's not the Keeper, Fenrir. Demons can take on other forms.
He lies. The first enchanter is a pawn of the Templars.
No. Silence, demon! Weren't you... Keeper Marathari warned me of this. You're not the Keeper. Mother's people have no circle, but they don't consort with demons.
You... Why did you interfere?
With my power joined to his, Fenrir would have changed the world.
The boy only wants his freedom, not your power.
Those who are free to choose always want power. You think your friends are different? You think this slave would choose you over his freedom?
Cast your eyes elsewhere, demon. I won my freedom from the Magisters long ago.
But you fear them still. They have left their marks on your body and your mind. With my aid, you could be free forever. You could have power enough to challenge any who would chain you.
If you accept, you are no better than the magistrates.
But to face them as an equal, What would you want from me?
A moment of your time, nothing more.
I have been thinking about what happened in the Fade. That a demon could have played so easily on my fears disturbs me. I failed you. I won't let that happen again.
The demon was using magic on your mind. It's as simple as that.
And yet she didn't manage to influence you. As for the boy, we shall see what he becomes, and if he regrets the mercy you provided. But that is not important now. Let's just hope we face nothing similar in the future.
I was wondering when you'd show up. Leandra was so sure you'd come for her.
Where is she?
You will never understand my purpose. Your mother was chosen because she was special. And now, she is part of something greater.
Spare me the demented rambling. Where is she?
She's here. She's waiting for you. I have done the impossible. I have touched the face of the Maker and lived. Do you know what the strongest force in the universe is? Love. I pieced her together from memory. I found her eyes, her skin, her delicate fingers. And at last, her face. Oh, this beautiful face. I've searched far and wide to find you again, beloved. And no force on this earth will part us.
Mother!
I knew you would come.
Don't move, Mother. We'll find a way to...
Shh. Don't fret, darling. That man would have kept me trapped in here. But now, I'm free. I'll be with Carver and Bethany and your father. But you'll be all alone.
I should have watched over you more closely. I should have...
My little girl has become so strong. I love you. You've always made me so proud.
Did you find her?
I'm sorry, Uncle. She's gone.
You were right about the flowers and everything. I can't believe she's gone.
I let Bethany down. I promised her I'd look after Mother.
So you're to blame! If you'd been quicker or stronger, you could have... She could be... Why her? Why Leandra?
The killer used Mother to magically reconstruct his dead wife. They had the same... face.
What sort of nightmarish magic is that? Oh, Maker! Maybe the Templars are right. Lock the mages up. Throw away the key.
I'm glad Bethany died before she could hear you say that.
I wish magic hadn't touched her. She would have been better off. Magic's always run in this family. It's a curse. Now even your mother's fallen victim to it. I wish you'd never told me what that twisted son of a bitch did to her. I wish I hadn't asked. I hope you killed him. Good. I hope it hurt. I should talk to the city guard, make arrangements to retrieve Leandra's body. Take care, my dear.
I don't know what to say, but I am here.
Just say something. Anything.
They say death is only a journey. Does that help?
It just raises questions. Journey to where?
I don't know. It's just something people say. To be honest, I don't think there is much point in filling these moments with empty talk. Are you certain it's her?
An elf matching your description on the ship you named. And alone, as far as I could tell.
I need to know if it's a trap.
I did as you asked, Fenris. Now it's up to you. You talk to him, Hawke. I've had my fill for today.
Fenhidis, first of us.
Maybe I can help, Fenris.
It's my sister. I didn't tell you, but I followed up on Hadriana's information. Everything she said was true. I had to keep it quiet, but I eventually contacted Verania and sent her coin enough to come meet me. And now she's here.
She was in Carinus after all.
My sister left Magister Ahriman's service, and I found her in Minrathous. That made things more difficult. But according to the men I paid, it's just as Hadriana said. She's not a slave. She's a tailor, in fact. Getting a letter to her was difficult, and she didn't believe me at first. But she's finally come.
You're worried Denarius knows?
The more it seems he doesn't know, the more certain I become he does. Come with me, Hawke. I need you there when I meet her.
Where is she?
If we go to the Hanged Man during the day, she'll be there, for the next week at least. It would mean a lot to me. That's all I ask.
It really is you.
Verania? I remember you. We played in our master's courtyard while Mother worked. You called me...
Leto. That's your name.
What's wrong? Why are you so...
Fenris, we have to get out of here.
Ah, my little Fenris. Predictable as always.
I'm sorry it came to this, Leto.
You led him here.
Now, Fenris, don't blame your sister. She did what any good Imperial citizen should.
I never wanted these filthy markings, Denarius. But I won't let you kill me to get them.
How little you know, my pet. And this is your new mistress, then? The champion of Kirkwall. Quite lovely.
Fenris doesn't belong to anyone.
Do I detect a note of jealousy? It's not surprising. The lad is rather skilled, isn't he?
Shut your mouth, Denarius.
The word is master.
I knew that. Now
you fall! There! Ha! We won? I didn't order more. Where are they coming from? Let's finish this! Get back! One enemy at a time. I'll deal with this. Let's finish this. Keep your guard up. Gotcha. There's more. Them. Get back. Gotcha. I'll deal with this. Now you fall. One less to worry about. That's right. You heard me. The world. Place one enemy at. Let's finish this. Now you fall. There. For me. It's all right.
You are no longer my master.
I had no choice, Leto.
Stop calling me that.
He was going to make me his apprentice. I would have been a magister.
You sold out your own brother to become a magister.
You have no idea what we went through, what I've had to do since Mother died. This was my only chance.
And now you have no chance at all.
Please, don't do this. Please, tell him to stop.
Wait. Don't kill her.
Why not? She was ready to see me killed. What is she to me other than just one more tool of the Magisters?
I know what it's like to kill your own sister.
Elf, Fenris. I know how hard this is to believe, but this is the last thing you want to do.
Get out.
You said you didn't ask for this, but that's not true. You wanted it. You competed for it. When you won, you used the boon to have Mother and I freed.
Why are you telling me this?
Freedom was no boon. I look on you now, and I think you received the better end of the bargain.
I thought discovering my past would bring a sense of belonging, but I was wrong. Magic has tainted that too. There is nothing for me to reclaim. I am alone.
I'm here, Fenris.
You heard what Verania said. I wanted these. I fought for them. I feel unclean, like this magic is not only etched into my skin, but has also stained my soul. Let's go. I need to get out of here.
You know, you could go anywhere you like now.
I'm aware of that.
Oh, you could become a raider. You could join my crew.
The crew of your non-existent ship?
Well, with that attitude, you're never going anywhere, are you?
She doesn't understand. Yes, I am free. Denarius is dead. Yet, it doesn't feel like it should.
You thought killing him would solve everything, but it doesn't.
I suppose not. I thought if I didn't need to run and fight to stay alive, I would finally be able to live as a free man does. But how is that? My sister is gone, and I have nothing. Not even an enemy.
Maybe that just means there's nothing holding you back.
An interesting thought. It's just difficult to overlook the stain that magic has left on my life. If I seem bitter, it's not without cause. Perhaps it is time to move forward. I just don't know where that leads. Do you?
You're still blaming magic for everything.
Think about it, Hawke. Look at what happened to your mother, your sister, so many others. Is there anyone whose life has been touched by magic that actually benefits?
You make a good point.
There are problems enough in this world without putting such power in the hands of those too weak to resist its allure. Them I fear, as should you, as should anyone. But what's important now is moving forward. I only wish I knew where that led.
Wherever it leads. I hope it means we'll stay together.
That is my hope as well. We have never discussed what happened between us 3 years ago.
You didn't want to talk about it.
I felt like a fool. I thought it better if you hated me. I deserve no less. But it isn't better. That night, I remember your touch as if it were yesterday. I should have asked your forgiveness long ago. I hope you can forgive me now.
I need to understand why you left, Fenris.
I've thought about the answer 1,000 times. The pain, the memories it brought up, it was too much. I was a coward. If I could go back, I would stay. Tell you how I felt.
What would you have said?
Nothing could be worse than the thought of living without you.
Oh, I don't know. This might be fun to hold over you a while longer.
If there is a future to be had, I will walk into it gladly at your side.
And then Hawke tore the door clean off its hinges, walked into the room, and... I guess we'll finish this later.
Have you got a minute, Varric?
For you, I have all the time in the world. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you. People say you and that elf, you know, the angsty Tevinter one, are becoming quite the item.
The angsty one?
Hey, I also got Tevinter in there, don't leave that out. So, what's going on, Hawke?
Well, well, well. I never thought you were the type, Varric. I'm flattered.
It's the chest hair, isn't it? Women can never resist my chest hair. Unfortunately, it's not to be. I'm spoken for.
Bianca stands in my way again, does she?
What can I say? She's the jealous type. Listen, as your friend, I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't say something. You do know the elf is covered in spikes, like an angsty porcupine. He might have some issues.
In all the time you've known me, have I ever given you the impression that I was turned off by crazy?
Okay, point taken.
Excellent. Killing my former brothers in arms is oddly satisfying. I've little reward to offer you, champion, but perhaps this will serve as a token of my thanks. It is time for me to move on, unless you'd care to get to know each other better, champion.
That depends. How much do you wish to test that luck of yours?
Oh, I see. Fair enough, then. It is time to move on, as they say. I have a little war to wage back home, and so little time. Perhaps we'll meet again, champion.
A fascinating breed. Such intelligence and strength. Do you ever wonder what he thinks about?
I'm not always sure I want to know.
Are you aware that this breed originated in Tevinter? The Magisters bred them. It said the Mabari defected during the Imperium's invasion of Ferelden. Merely a tale, but I rather like the idea they found the barbarians more palatable than the mages. Exactly so. Let's hope your hound doesn't take after his ancestors too strongly, hmm?
There it is.
That's where your dwarves are?
These are Carta dwarves, so they're more criminals and smugglers than anything else. They're not usually stupid, though. I don't know why they'd attack you.
I can't think of anything we did to make the Carter angry. Today, anyhow.
You have a plan, then? I found their hideout, but my sources couldn't tell me anything else. It's all very strange.
Why do you say that? It's just the Carter, isn't it?
As far as my contacts in the Carter know, they shouldn't be here. There shouldn't even be a here. This place is invisible. A big blind spot on the map. Bianca's never been this suspicious, and she's twitchy to start with.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I get attacked a lot.
A fine point. So, what's the plan?
Oh, I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding. Later, we'll all have tea and we'll laugh.
Oh, your name is Hawk. I thought it was Locke.
Whatever happens, they won't get a chance to attack again.
Let's go.
Why did the Carter have such a personal interest in you? Now this is unexpected. I thought all dwarves did was drink.
Hey, now.
And lie, yes. Pardon the omission.
That's better.
How about you? Making the world a better place, one enemy at a time. Gotcha! And stay down.
You messed with the wrong dwarf, Skyer!
I love it when a plan works out.
These dwarves are insane. Perhaps even more so than Varric.
I heard that. The Carter doesn't normally act like this. They're businessmen.
I'd like to know who this Corypheus is. With a name like that, he's bound to go mwahaha at some point. I just know it. And really? More blood? Why can't it ever be spit or a lock of hair?
You really want to encounter a spit mage?
For variety, sure. How many generations of warriors stood guard here? And why does that make me nervous?
A dwarven prison?
Dwarves don't do prisons, Elf. This is a trash heap. They threw something away here and hoped it wouldn't come back.
Done. Someday I'll visit a place with no ancient evils, horrors, devouring plagues, or insanity. Maybe a beach.
The day you go to the beach would be the day an armada of angry demon pirates show up.
Will you look at that?
Some kind of fortress? Out here?
I don't like the looks of this.
Oh, this will be fun!
Now you fall!
Die, fuck!
You do get results, don't you?
There! So, Fenris, we haven't spoken since...
You wish to do this here? In front of everyone?
Kinky.
That wasn't... Never mind.
While we're stuck down here, Meredith could be burning down the circle.
And stay down!
Never to get on our bad side.
When I left the Wardens, I swore I'd never spend another minute in the deep roads.
Left? Sounds like it was a mutual arrangement.
Fine, I ran away. What's it to you?
Ran away from the Circle, ran away from the Wardens. It sounds like a habit.
Running away from your family, straight to Denarius? Running away from Denarius, straight to Hawke? Maybe we're more alike than you think.
I've always said so.
I'm surprised you agreed to come back. You hate being underground, and you avoid the Carter the same way you do the Merchant Guild.
There's no way I'd miss watching you make these motherless nug lickers cry.
When you tell people about our escape from Lothering, why do you make it sound like I had food all over my face?
You're larger than life, Hawke. I had to give you a few flaws just to make you approachable.
Did you just call me fat?
Yes, that's pretty much how I tell it. Hawke rolled into the fray like a gigantic pudding covered in gravy. It's more dramatic that way.
Does it have to be gravy? Couldn't it be chocolate instead?
Everyone's a critic. I hope you told Bodan where you were going. If we never come back, maybe someone will send a search party after their champion.
Thank you for asking me to come along again, Hawke.
Why wouldn't I? More the merrier.
I just am pleased to see you. That's all.
Smooth.
I've never heard of dwarves using blood magic, but they're obviously after you for something. I'm guessing Corypheus is some kind of demon?
I guess we only get that answer from Corypheus.
I hate how all you get to hear his voice. I never do.
Now you fall! One more for me. We're keeping score, right?
I'd run if I were you! My magic
That should do it. Done. All set. That's enough.
You, Elf, are one lucky son of a bitch.
Is this about the Diamondback game? Again?
I've never seen anyone bluff like that in my life. I was sure you had a handful of nothing.
So was I. You're the one who pointed out I had 4 serpents.
See? Luckiest bastard I've ever seen.
Does anyone else hear drumming? A key. Tuned to your father's blood. Sounds like a ritual element for blood magic. Be careful, Hawke.
How is it you get into these situations so often?
What do you mean?
Attacked by dwarves, approached by strangers, stumbling upon ancient riddles. Madness.
It's a gift.
Well, I think you should return it.
It's only a cover.
I'd like to cover him with 6 feet.
So these are the hunting grounds.
What are we supposed to do? Beat the bushes with sticks?
We just need to look for signs and be careful. We get this over with, we get into the keep.
And that's where the jewel is?
That's where the jewel is.
You were too willing to involve yourself in the affairs of others, Hawke. Each time you put yourself at risk. One day you will not be so lucky.
You have a better idea?
Guard what you have. Keep your head low.
Like a dragon, guarding my treasure hoard.
That's not what I meant.
Shall I eat passerby? Perhaps I can demand virgin sacrifices.
Even dragons are eventually slain, Hawke.
I had a quick look around. There's one door into the castle that isn't under heavy guard.
So what's the problem? It's underwater? Enchanted with ancient Tevinter runes? Covered in spiders?
I can't get it open. And believe me, I tried. Bent a nice set of lockpicks in that stupid door. One of the Duke's guardsmen must have the key. They wouldn't just lock themselves out of the castle. I hope.
Why else would the party be in the garden? He probably has someone breaking a window right now.
I could make that work, actually. But in the meantime, let's find someone with a key.
We draw too much attention to ourselves. We should spread out.
Talus and I will look for the key. Get out of sight and watch for chevaliers or guards.
Let's see what we can find out. Come on. I have a question. When the Duke told you what I was, you said you didn't care. Was that true?
I would have said he couldn't compare to your awesomeness, but that might have seemed petty.
I am sorry. This didn't work out like I'd planned. Obviously.
What was your plan exactly?
The one I expected to find is named Salit, a member of the Ben Hasrath, the Heart of the Many. I was told he's here to sell secrets to the Orlesians, and I came to stop him. I suppose I was misinformed.
So you came here to stop this Salit from betraying your people?
You probably won't believe me, but this isn't a political mission. It's personal.
What do you mean?
Salit was my best Rathari, the one who recruited me into the Ben Hasrath. My tutor. He's the one who saw my potential, convinced me that I could make a difference. It doesn't matter now.
But you said he was selling secrets.
He is. Or at least he intends to. One last act of defiance. I can't let him do that. Not when he'll hurt so many others in the process.
You mean he'll hurt other Kunari?
Not every Kunari is a soldier, you know. There are tens of thousands of farmers, artisans, craftsmen. People who have never hurt anyone. People whose only crime is living. They don't deserve what he's going to do to them. But it's more than my duty to stop Salit. It is my moral obligation.
You mentioned the Heart of the Many before, but you said it was the name of the jewel.
It's also what Ben Hasrath means. Some people say we're enforcers, that keep the Kunari in line, but that's not it. It's hard to explain.
Try.
We're the soul of the Kun. We keep its spirit alive and protect it, from both outside and from within. Not every Kunari agrees, nor do they always do what is best for all. The Ben Hasrath remind us of our common goal.
You make them seem almost peaceful.
It's not always meant to end in violence. There are other paths. They do not all need to lead to the same destination. I probably don't sound very convincing.
The way you're talking, it sounds like you're one of these Ben Hasrath.
I am. Or I was. Whether I ever am again, I guess that remains to be seen.
Is that why you're here? To redeem yourself?
Not to them. Doubt is the path one walks to reach faith. To leave the path is to embrace blindness and abandon hope.
Another Kunari proverb?
She who swallows wisdom in tiny chunks avoids choking.
So did you really involve me just because I had an invitation?
You were the only one on the invitation list who wasn't a personal friend of the Montfort family. And you're also Basilit An, remember? An outsider worthy of respect.
You know about that?
Of course. If there was anyone a Kunari should or would consider going to for help, it's you.
And what was going to happen when all this was over?
I thank you. We go our separate ways.
So I just fell off the Ferelden turnip cart, is that it?
Truth? You're not exactly what I was expecting. I've heard a few stories about you. They don't quite do you justice. Perhaps if I'd done my homework, I would have known more about you. Given you the respect you deserve. Nothing I could do about it now.
I suppose the good news is, with all this extra time, I can learn to knit.
Could you make me a sweater?
No.
The first order of business is getting out of here before His Grace decides we would taste good in the soup. Or whatever he has planned. Any ideas?
Oh, I'm sure the others will be along any minute now.
That's it. I'm taking the lead.
You think I'm going to trust you to find Hawke?
Could you stop with the all mages are evil diatribe for 1 minute?
They may not all be evil, but one of them in particular is extremely annoying.
That's it. I'm officially tired of waiting to be rescued.
Why didn't you just do that before?
You said your friends were coming.
There you are. Were you hurt? What happened?
Let's go anywhere but here. You lead the way.
So back through the castle then?
There's a better way than fighting through the Duke's entire army. I'll show you.
More of these things?
I knew this would happen. One more for me. Wicked. Score, right?
Score one for our hero!
There's a lake? In the middle of the mountain?
The retreat needed to house hundreds of people during the Blight, if not thousands. Can't do that without fresh water.
But it's a lake.
Oh, that. I have no idea. That's odd. I could swear there was... Trust me.
Talus!
The Circle are not the only ones who know how to break a mage. The Duke is a fool. His enemies a posturing, guileless lot. But you are worth testing. Prosper can fight his own battles, and I shall choose mine.
And here we...
Missed! That would have been a nice shot, too. You didn't think I was leaving, did you?
Get back! Let's finish this! That's enough! I like you! That's right, you heard me!
That was bracing.
I thought you'd left.
Nonsense. I found a way around. I said I'd be here, and I meant it. Let's keep going. The exit can't be much further.
That should do it.
You frightened me.
Me?
Before we found you, there was a moment when I... Don't do that again.
I know it isn't my place to criticize, but are you sure about Fenris? He seems less a man to me than a wild dog.
You just don't know him.
I know as much as I'm ever likely to.
That's right, Mage.
He has let one bad experience color his whole world. Surely you want someone more open-minded.
A mage and a hypocrite. What company you keep.
Take a look at this.
A Blade of Mercy. I remember these. You see them in the Imperium. Replicas of the sword Archon Hessarian used to kill Andraste. This one looks finely crafted.
I thought it might be worth something.
It is. Here, let me show you. These are gifts of honor, given to those who have performed a service for the Imperium. Denarius coveted them, as I recall.
You don't talk about the Imperium much.
It's not a place I remember fondly.
Doesn't the Chantry forbid mages to rule over men?
Ah, yes. Magic is meant to serve man and not rule over him. In the Imperium, they say that means magic should serve the greater good, which they claim the Magisters do. Do not believe it.
What do the Magisters do that's so bad?
What you call the Circle of Magi rules the Imperium. They control the Chantry as well as the Templars. They claim the Magisters are governed by holy law, but they are the law. They do as they please. All of them.
So they all use forbidden magic?
The more powerful the mage, the higher he rises in the Senate. He makes the laws, he determines what is acceptable. Everyone who wishes to compete must do the same, or be crushed. Perhaps it wasn't always this way, but it is now.
The slave trade is still in operation in the Imperium.
It varies from one Archon to the next. One outlawed it many years ago. He was quickly assassinated. Tevinter would crumble without slaves. The Imperium's elite know no other way.
Seems like a slave rebellion would end that.
There are rebellions all the time, actually. Most of them end poorly. The Senate always unites when faced with sedition. One day, things will change. Then the Magisters will see just how fragile their hold is.
I heard that the Imperium has been at war with the Qunari for decades.
Ever since the Qunari landed on the island of Saharan, yes. 80 years ago? Perhaps more. The Archon demanded aid from the rest of Thedas. It didn't get him far.
They've been at war a long time.
The Qunari only ever wanted Saharan, which they have. The Imperium has made numerous attempts to retake the island, without real success. I believe the Qunari are saving their strength, building a massive fleet. When they wish true war, we will know.
Are the Qunari that strong?
They once fought all the lands of Thedas to a standstill. If they wanted to conquer the Imperium, they would. From what I saw on Saharan, they will not relent. They believe even more strongly than the Magisters that they are in the right.
The blade is yours if you want it.
For me? Yes. I think I'd like that. I'll think of the irony as I wield it. Thank you, Hawke. Here I am, about to defend these mages in hopeless battle. You lead me to strange places, Hawke.
I'll take you to stranger places than this. Just watch.
A tempting offer. I may not get the chance to say this again. Meeting you was the most important thing that ever happened to me, Hawke. Promise me you won't die? I can't bear the thought of living without you.
I don't make that promise unless you do.
Nothing is going to keep me from you.
Inquisitor, meet Hawke, the champion of Kirkwall.
Though I don't use that title much anymore.
Hawke, the Inquisitor. I figured you might have some friendly advice about Corypheus. You and I did fight him, after all.
You've already dropped half a mountain on the bastard. I'm sure anything I can tell you pales in comparison.
Oh, I don't know. You did save a city from a horde of rampaging Qunari.
I don't see how that really applies. Or is there a horde of rampaging Qunari I don't know about?
There's a Qunari. He almost qualifies as a horde all by himself. Fortunately, he's on our side.
So, then, what can I tell you?
Varric said that you fought Corypheus before.
Fought and killed. The Grey Wardens were holding him, and he
Somehow used his connection to the Darkspawn to influence them.
Corypheus got into their heads, messed with their minds, turned them against each other.
If the Wardens have disappeared, they could have fallen under his control again.
If that's what happened to the Wardens, do you think we can free them?
It's possible, but we need to know more first. I've got a friend in the Wardens. He was investigating something unrelated for me. His name is Alistair. The last time we spoke, he was worried about corruption in the Warden ranks. Since then, nothing.
Corypheus would certainly qualify as corruption in the ranks. Did your friend disappear with them?
No. He told me he'd be hiding in an old smuggler's cave near Crestwood.
If you didn't know about Corypheus, what were you doing with the Wardens?
The Templars in Kirkwall were using a strange form of lyrium. It was red. I'd hoped the Wardens could tell me more about it.
Corypheus had Templars with him at Haven. They looked like they'd been exposed to the lyrium you describe.
Hopefully, my friend in the Wardens will know more.
I'll take any lead I can get at the moment.
Good. I'll do whatever I can to help. Corypheus is my responsibility. I thought I'd killed him before. This time I'll make sure of it. Inquisitor.
You said you thought you killed Corypheus.
The Grey Wardens had him imprisoned. They used my father's blood in a ritual to seal Corypheus inside. But he could still reach out and influence the Warden's thoughts. He sent them after me. And I didn't just think I killed him. When the fight was done, he was dead on the ground. Maybe his tie to the Blight somehow brought him back, or maybe it's all Tevinter magic, but he was dead, I swear it.
I assume Varric's been feeding you information about the Inquisition. What did he say about me?
Only good things, I promise. I was a little surprised, actually. Varric isn't one for religion in general, but he thinks highly of the Inquisition. I think the exact phrase was, has a good shot at fixing Blondie's mess.
Where did you go after the mages rebelled?
I heard the Chantry might be sending an exalted march to Kirkwall to put down the rebellion. I hoped that leaving would save lives and force the Divine to divide her forces to come after me. As it turned out, I needn't have bothered. All the circles started rising up and the exalted march never came.
I'd like to know more about Anders. What was he like?
I don't know if there ever was just an Anders. He was crazy. By the end, there was nothing left in him, except this insane need to start a war no one could win.
I heard you had family and friends in Kirkwall. Where are they now?
Fenris would have killed himself to protect me. I didn't want to give him that chance.
We'll talk later.
I'll meet you at Crestwood.
Döth ma Herelan, Mabanal inasalin, Marsolas ina Martin.
Bonal Nadas.
Did you think you mattered, Hawke? Did you think anything you ever did mattered? You couldn't even save your city. How could you expect to strike down a god? Fenris is going to die just like your family, and everyone you ever cared about.
Well, that's going to grow tiresome quickly.
Those were little fears. Tiny manifestations spawned from the nightmare itself.
And, of course, they look like giant spiders.
Spiders? I see maggots crawling in filth.
Remember, we walk in the Fade. Demons of fear shape their appearance to unnerve each of us.
Well, that's reassuring.
How do we get by?
Go! I'll cover you.
No, you were right. The Wardens caused this mess. A Warden must...
A Warden must help them rebuild. That's your job. Corypheus is mine. Hawke. Say goodbye to Varric for me.
No demon army for Corypheus, it appears. The Divine, or her spirit, was right. You know that's not how they see it, though. And they just saw their Inquisitor work another miracle.
They came out of this alive. As far as I'm concerned, they can tell whatever stories they like.
I suppose the Inquisitor and his Warden friend escaped by the skin of their teeth. Wouldn't be as good for morale.
Inquisitor, the Archdemon flew off as soon as you disappeared. The Venatori Magister is unconscious but alive. Cullen thought you might wish to deal with him yourself. As for the Wardens, those who weren't corrupted helped us fight the demons. We stand ready to help make up for Clorel's tragic mistake.
Where is the champion? Hawke is not with us.
Hawke sacrificed her life to save us and strike a decisive blow against Corypheus.
The champion is gone.
She gave her life not because she'd sworn an oath or been marked as special, but because someone had to do it.
Alistair, you're the senior surviving Grey Warden. What do we do now?
You stay and do whatever you can to help. Alistair believes that the Wardens are worth saving. And I trust him. You're still vulnerable to Corypheus, and possibly his Venatori. But there are plenty of demons that need killing.
After all that, you give them yet another chance?
While they do that, I'll report to the Wardens at Weishaupt. Corypheus won't catch us with our trousers down again.
Thank you, your worship. We will not fail you.
You've already created something big with this Inquisition. I wish you luck leading it.
Did I ever tell you about the time Hawke was on a Merchant Guild hit list? Hawke's uncle got into an investment scheme with a couple of merchant caste businessmen. They took a lot of people's coin in order to arrange the import of wandering hills from the Anderfells. A delicacy, I'm told. Their weird foreign foodstuffs arrived alive, and one of them, true to its name, wandered off in the middle of the night. Shit. The guild traced the shipments to Hawke's uncle, but as usual, he was so far in debt he couldn't see daylight. So they went after Hawke instead. They sent guys from the local carter to Hawke's estate one night. 5 big dusters, armed to the teeth. They kick in the door, and Hawke yells, "You're just in time," and drags them over to a game of Wicked Grace. They played 2 hands of cards before the city guard showed up to take them away. A couple of them became regulars in our weekly game. Hawke just had that effect on people. I always wanted to tell that one. Thanks. I guess I've got some letters to write. I should be the one to tell Fenris. Excuse me.